Let's go over to a live instant Doppler 6 right now. This is the Albany radar. We're going to go over to live instant Doppler 6. We've got it running now in our velocity mode, so we're looking at the actual circulation within this. And again, a very, very messy display here, but it's the same idea with the Albany National Weather Service radar. Our radar, of course, located on Balltown Road at the CBS 6 facility. So we're looking at it from a bit of a different angle, the Albany radar down in this area looking up at the storm. Red colors blowing away from the radar, the blue or the cooler colors blowing towards the radar. So we are seeing the couplet on live instant Doppler 6. It is in the vicinity of Knox. It looks like it's just west of Altamont right now. So we've got at least some broad circulation in this area here. And again, the track continues down in the direction of New Salem and Clarksville, Meadowdale. Voorheesville is here. Circulation passing perhaps very close to that area, maybe just skirting the Altamont area, or it's very, very broad and affecting the Altamont area as well. Bottom line, if you're anywhere here across western, central Albany County, you need to be sheltering in place for the potential that this tornado is on the ground and we are seeing damage. That's a possibility. Again, we don't know because we're just looking at the radar indications here of the circulation. But again, the general motion is like this in this direction across Albany County. The tornado warning continues until at least 4:15. Signatures remain quite strong, though. You're seeing the live sweep here with the updates. And we may have several areas where at least there's some weak rotation across portions of Albany County. So certainly a significant event here. Let's go back to our regular radar display, and we'll show you again the conventional display. This is the reflectivity, so we're looking at the rain and the hail with the particular storm. And as of this update, it doesn't look as impressive as some of the last volume scans that we saw. That could be a good thing. It could mean the storm is also cycling and not necessarily weakening. Very heavy rain, likely hail, lightning concentrated around the Altamont area. Here's Knox. This is the area where we had the strong hook indication. We're still getting that little shear marker there, so that's where the circulation is. That's exactly where instant Doppler 6 was showing where the circulation is as well. So if we do have anything, it looks like it's closer to Knox than Altamont, but this whole area under the gun with severe weather right now. And again, the general track like this. So it looks like the area of circulation is riding just to the north of the southern edge of the tornado warning box here in Albany County. Voorheesville, you are included in this tornado warning. Knox, of course, you are included as well. Bern is not. That's the Albany National Weather Service radar site that you're seeing right here. Again, very, very strong storm tracking off in this direction.
So let's go back to Steve now for some more information on the track of the storm.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig. We'll switch it over to live instant Doppler 6 as we can. I've done some manipulation while Craig's been on the air with our radar to kind of hone in on the area of rotation. It's not as strong as it was. We're starting to see at least radar indications of some weakening. Again, that's very typical. Tornadoes can be very short-lived. They can do a lot of damage in a short period of time. We still, however, do have a circulation, though. This is Thompson's Lake, Meadowdale here, East Bern, and the Delmar area, and we're looking at a broad circulation right in the vicinity or just east of Thompson's Lake here. Reedsville's there, and that's South Albany. So we have a storm track in this direction, kind of in the direction down towards South Albany and the ravine area here. Again, a broad circulation indicated on our live instant Doppler 6 radar, so the potential remains that we may have a tornado still on the ground, potentially doing damage here across the south central Albany County. Let's go back over to the radar display and show you the more conventional view. And again, it's not quite as defined as it was 15 minutes ago. We're not seeing the defined inflow notch. Again, it could just be a signal that the storm is cycling and not necessarily weakening. Oftentimes, when the radar display becomes less defined, is a period where we do have still a tornado on the ground, and it would be back in this area in here. There's the notch, there's Thompson's Lake, so that would be an indication of some kind of a notch. It could very well be that there's a new circulation center that's developing down in here. The old circulation center perhaps up in the vicinity or east of Knox, something like that. And we are getting a new volume scan update here from the National Weather Service radar. And again, you can still kind of get the sense here that you've got a rotating supercell, and it does certainly appear around or just east of Thompson's Lake, where live instant Doppler 6 is showing a rotational couplet, that there may be a new inflow notch that's developing in here, with this perhaps being the remnants of the old circulation. So it's possible there still could be a tornado back in here. It's also possible that there could be a new tornado developing to the east-southeast of the original tornado. So a case where the supercell is producing more than one, at the very least damaging straight line wind. Once again, seeing an enhancement now on the northwest side, northwest of the circulation, the Hook Echo area, that may be redeveloping of some very, very intense lightning. So that indicates this storm still has an awful lot of life in it, and it may very well just be going through a process of cycling right now rather than weakening. But certainly it is a very interesting radar perspective here, and still remains a very, very dangerous storm. The tornado warning in effect now until 4:30 for Albany County. It can strike up to 25 miles from the base of a thunderstorm, heating a tiny channel in the atmosphere to a temperature 3 to 5 times hotter than the sun. This causes an explosion of hot gases outward and an inward rush of the surrounding cool air, which causes a shock wave that becomes the sound wave we hear as thunder. Since sound travels 1 mile every 5 seconds, if you count the number of seconds between seeing a flash and hearing the thunder, and then divide by 5, you can estimate the distance to the lightning. So if you see a lightning flash and it takes 5 seconds to hear the thunder, that lightning strike was 1 mile away and means you need to get inside. The rule of thumb is if you can hear thunder, there's a chance of being struck by lightning. And being inside is one of the safest places you can be, as long as you stay away from your electrical appliances and the plumbing. If you have a corded phone, stay off it. A strike on a nearby line can send that charge through the phone directly into you. Cordless and cell phones, however, are okay because there's nothing connecting you to the house wiring. Being in a car with the windows closed is the ultimate lightning refuge, as the car's metal cage will direct any strike around you into the ground. The rubber tires on the car, however, play no role in keeping you safe. That's just an old myth. And if you're caught outside, know that open-air pavilions and gazebos offer no protection and obviously don't stand next to tall, solitary objects. Lightning looks for the easiest path down to the ground, and it will do so through something like this tall tree. And we all know that golf clubs, metal fences, bikes, and umbrellas can attract lightning. But you may not be aware that something as small as the metal zipper on your jacket can also attract a strike. And as for heat lightning, there's no such thing. It's simply a distant lightning strike that's so far away you don't hear the thunder. Monster tornadoes like this one are very rare here, but they can happen. May 29, 1995, 2 of them spread destruction from Hillsdale, New York through Great Barrington and Monterey, Massachusetts, killing 3. Then a big one caused $65 million in damage in Mechanicville and Stillwater on May 31, 1998. And 3 years ago in nearby Springfield, this big one remained on the ground, producing widespread damage on a 39-mile continuous track across south central Massachusetts. Tornadoes form in a warm, moist, unstable environment that's characterized by strong wind shear, which is both a turning and increase in wind speed with height. This causes horizontally spinning tubes of air to form a loft, which then get tilted vertically by the thunderstorm updraft. This then causes the thunderstorm to rotate, becoming a supercell, with that rotation sometimes making it down to the ground as a tornado. Most supercells, however, don't produce tornadoes, but we have learned that the shear, the turning of the wind in the lowest half mile to a mile of the atmosphere, is critical in that final stage of tornado development. And we often see that shear increased in our north-south valleys, like the Schoharie, the Hudson, and the Housatonic. And this also explains the spike we see in tornadoes in and near those valleys. This tornado in Florida, New York on June 16, 2001 got some extra spin, forming where the Schoharie Valley intersects with the Mohawk, as did the Cranesville tornado on September 9, 2011. To stay safe in a tornado warning, move to your basement. If you don't have one, the next best, safest place to be is an interior bathroom or closet on the lowest floor of the building that you're in. The idea is to put as much between you and the tornado. Nice night, quiet night overnight tonight. We'll see a little bit of high cloudiness coming in towards morning. Temperatures falling back to around 64 in town. Coolest locations probably not much lower than the upper 50s, so really quite mild. And well into the 80s again tomorrow, a little bit more humid. So if anything, there might be a warmer feel to the day, although we will see some cloud buildup, so we won't have the 100% sunshine we've been enjoying the past couple of days. And there will be a chance for an isolated shower thunderstorm as a weak cool front comes in from the north and west. Not a lot of moisture, so I'm not thinking we'll have a lot of storms. Overall chance for any one location tomorrow about 20–30%. Then after it goes by, it is cooler in here Thursday and Friday. Completely different air mass coming in, much less humid. We'll have the numbers in the mid-70s Thursday, Friday, but quickly through the weekend, the warmer and more humid air is going to want to come back. Temperatures will start to climb, and our chances for wet weather will also start to climb as we head into the holiday weekend. Right now, it's upper 70s in the Adirondacks to around 80 at Lake George, low 80s for Glens Falls, Saratoga, Schenectady. Still enjoying mid-80s at this hour with West Arlington, Vermont at 83 degrees. Albany sitting at 85, anywhere from the upper 70s to lower to even mid-80s across southern Vermont and the Berkshires. 86 for Hudson, with some of the higher spots back to western Greene County in the upper 70s. Everybody's pretty nice, and it's not too humid. Dew points generally have been 60 or a little bit higher, so just a little bit of stickiness in the air. It is more humid in this narrow strip of air back in here where you see the orange on the map, and that's running directly in advance of that cool front that's coming in. So this more humid air will push in later tonight, tomorrow, so our dew points will be a little bit higher, so a little bit stickier for Wednesday. Jet stream running well to our north, and that's why it's warmed up the past couple of days with the core of the really hot weather back in here, and a cool front wedged between the upper level ridge here and the jet stream, and the westerly flow will propel that front eastward tomorrow. But there's not a lot with it. Little batch of clouds and some scattered showers and thunder showers out towards Detroit and Indianapolis, and those are moving east. Will weaken and fall apart overnight tonight. Some of the debris cloudiness will be here by morning. So again, not quite as bright tomorrow, but still we'll get a decent amount of sunshine. And no rain tonight as temperatures fall back into the upper 50s across the Berkshires, southern Vermont, to the lower to mid-60s from Saratoga on south to Albany, Kingston, Amsterdam, only on about 60 with some patches of fog and a light wind. Really toasty again tomorrow. It's upper 80s in the Mid-Hudson Valley, mid-80s Schenectady to Amsterdam up to Saratoga. Bennington, North Adams should easily do low 80s. But again, a warmer feel, I think, because the dew points will be a couple of ticks higher. Most of us should see mid-60 dew points, so a little bit uncomfortable with those warm temperatures. And with the increased moisture and that front, that chance for shower, thunder shower. Not so much during the morning, although in the Adirondacks there might be an errant sprinkle. I think the best bets from southern Vermont, the Berkshires, Capital Region, Mid-Hudson Valley, eastern Catskills during the afternoon and the evening for a couple popping up and moving by pretty quickly. But again, they should be more the exception than the rule coming up tomorrow. So a good day at the track. I think any shower, thunder shower development will be well south and east of Saratoga. So aside from some cloud buildups, it looks generally dry and humid with temperatures in the middle 80s. Then cooler Thursday into Friday with temperatures in the 70s. In fact, Thursday night, Friday morning looking pretty cool, upper 40s to lower 50s. And then turning warmer, more humid this weekend. Shower thunderstorm chances start to come into play late Saturday. I don't think we'll see a lot Saturday. Better chances Sunday afternoon and potentially again Monday, as it looks like the front that's moving through will be a slow mover. So that'll kind of extend the possibilities. But at this point, it's not looking like a washout. It's kind of just looking like a typical summertime pattern, warm, humid, with a shower thunderstorm threat for the Labor Day weekend.
You know, it's Labor Day weekend. I think a lot of folks kind of expect that there's going to be that summertime humidity, which leads to a shower or two.
That's right, and that's what we're going to get.
They'll be happy if you hold off the washout, though.
Yeah, if we don't get any washouts, we'll be in good shape. Of course, if we get closer to it, we'll be able to refine and define exactly when we'll see.
That's just always the case. Yes.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Steve.